Ah, Buenos Aires. What a magnificent city. It's very good to be here. So today I will tell you a little bit about the secrets of happiness according to the Dalai Lama. A few years ago, I was traveling with him in America because I was co-authoring, writing a book with the Dalai Lama, so I was traveling with him. You might ask how come I get to travel with him and to write a book with him. Well, it's a little bit of a long story, but I met him about 40 years ago now, and the only reason I met him was because I was kidnapped in Kabul, Afghanistan in 1972. It's a long story. I don't have time to go into the story today, but it's a story about intense fear. It's a story about despair. It's a story about a hanging tree. And then finally, it's a story about ecstasy and meeting the Dalai Lama for the first time. So I will tell you this story when I come to Buenos Aires the next time for TED. So anyway, as I was saying, I was traveling with the Dalai Lama in America. And we were in Washington, D.C. And this very famous media person, talk show host, Oprah, came to interview him. Now, Oprah is someone like, in Argentina, you have Susana Jimenez, someone like that, very famous, very powerful black lady. So she was in the room to interview the Dalai Lama, and halfway through the interview, she asked him, "Your Holiness, do you think that everybody in the world should meditate?" And the Dalai Lama responded right away with 2 words: "Stupid question." Now, why did he say that? It's not because he thinks meditation is no good. He himself meditates every day for 5-6 hours ever since he was a toddler. But he said that to Oprah because he thinks that the last thing he wants to do in America is to preach, is to proselytize, is to try to convert people to Buddhism or to meditation. I think this is something that he does not want to do. He thinks that all the great religions in the world have the same message. Catholics, Christians, Jews, Islam, Hindu, Buddhism. Essentially, the basic message is do to other people what you want other people to do to you. It's a golden rule. All major religions have the same message. So this is what the Dalai Lama wants to tell people. And I come here to stand before you today in the same spirit. I am not here to convert anybody to preach or to get you involved in meditation. I'm just here to tell you a few stories and to give you a sense of who the Dalai Lama is and what is his central belief in life. In January 3 months ago. I was in Delhi, India, and I organized a little meeting for about 50 people who have spent their life trying to reduce suffering in the world, especially in places like India, Africa, the developing countries. So these are the people who are founders of major organizations. They are the founders of major philanthropic foundations. And we have the Dalai Lama with us. We also have the ex-president of India with us to talk about how to strategize, how to do this. So the Dalai Lama flew from his home in the Himalayas to Delhi airport to come to the meeting. And then he come to the hotel for the meeting in a motorcade of 6 cars provided by the Indian government. Then near the hotel, the traffic was so bad, all the cars were stopped. They could not move. And the little beggar girl, about like this, 5, 6 years old, very dirty, with very bad clothes on, very poor, and come up to the Dalai Lama's car and was begging for some money. So the Dalai Lama checked his pockets, opened his bag, no money. He doesn't usually carry money. So he asked his companion, the Indian official, "Do you have some money?" And the Indian official had some coin, so he gave it to the little beggar girl. Then the Dalai Lama discovered in his pocket that he actually had a bar of chocolate in his pocket. So he gave the chocolate to the little girl. And the girl was so happy. She was jumping up and down. She gets some coins every day, but never a piece of chocolate like this. So she was jumping. She was so happy. So when the Dalai Lama was telling all of us this story, we can see it in his face. It was mesmerizing. The joy that we could see on his face was incredible. All of us in that room, the 50 people or so, some of us were actually in tears because it was so moving to see this pure joy, pure happiness in his face. So this is something that is very essential about the Dalai Lama. And this is his central belief that if you want other people to be happy, practice compassion. And if you want yourself to be happy, practice compassion. It's a very simple message, but a very powerful one as well. I also want to tell you a little bit about the sleeping pattern, the sleeping habit of the Dalai Lama. Every day he gets up at 3:30, and then he goes to bed around 8:30. And he's very proud of the fact that he's able to sleep like a baby every night, 8 hours, 9 hours. And this is even when he has a lot of things to worry about, the bad news coming from Tibet and so on. So he's very proud that he sleeps like a baby like this. And but in October of 2008, all of a sudden he had a lot of trouble sleeping. And he had a lot of pain in his stomach, in his abdomen. So he was rushed to a hospital in Delhi, India, and the doctors found that his gallbladder is infected and it became very big. So they decided to operate right away. Normally, to take away your gallbladder is a very simple thing. It takes only 15 minutes for the operation. But in this case, the infection was so bad, and there were so many stones, little pieces of stones, 1 centimeter in diameter, half a centimeter in diameter, that the surgeons actually took over 2 hours to do the operation. So normally after an intense operation like this, it takes over a week to recover. But in the Dalai Lama's case, after a couple of days, he was in perfect shape. He was full of energy and ready to go. And the doctors were very surprised. How is this guy, who is 75 years old, able to recover from an intensive operation like this so fast? And they found that when they measure his vital signs, his pulse, his blood pressure, and did all these tests on him, they found that the Dalai Lama is actually having the physique, the physiology of someone who is 20 years younger, someone who is in his 50s instead of someone who is in his 70s. So the Dalai Lama was telling me this, and he was saying to me that the big reason why his health, his physique is so good is because he thinks that he has this very powerful peace of mind in his head. Very little stress, very stable mind that creates this condition for his body to be in such a very good shape. He strongly believes that if you have peace of mind, then not only do you have mental well-being, but you also have physical well-being, that your cardiovascular system, your blood system and your nervous system and all of that, especially your immune system, they are impacted by having peace of mind. So this is something he has believed all his life, and this is now currently corroborated by scientific studies. The science is now showing that if you have peace of mind, it strongly affects your body. But peace of mind is not only about a healthy body, it's also something that allows you to have a high degree of happiness. And for the Dalai Lama, peace of mind is something that was achieved by his meditation. He's been meditating for over 50 years in his life. And by my calculation, he has over 100,000 hours of meditation in his life. And this has a big contribution to his peace of mind. I was with him in a scientific laboratory at the University of Wisconsin some years ago. And they put a Tibetan Buddhist monk in a brain scanner, and they scanned his brain. And they found that the gamma radiation, the activation that comes from the left side of his front brain, is so strong that the scientists have never found something like that before. They were so skeptical about it, they did it twice. And they found that because of this activation, it means that this monk was extremely happy. As a matter of fact, this monk is now known as the happiest person in the world. So I think if the scientists were to test the Dalai Lama, he would be seen as someone who is spectacularly happy. So I think some of these stories, what I'm trying to say is to illustrate a formula to the secret of happiness by the Dalai Lama. First, about the little beggar girl, it's to say that if you make someone happy, you yourself become very happy. And secondly, if you meditate, you have peace of mind, and the meditation will contribute to your well-being, to your happiness as well. So maybe the Dalai Lama was a little bit too humble when he said to this talk show host, Oprah, that not everybody should meditate. Maybe he's wrong. Maybe he should be saying that meditation is for everybody. Like we brush teeth in the morning. Every morning we brush our teeth. It's a habit. Or every day we go to the gym to improve our body. So maybe he should have said to Oprah that if you want to be happy, if you want to live a good life and have good health, you should make meditation a part of your routine, just like brushing teeth every morning. Thank you very much.